On behalf of the United States Navy, Navy Sea Systems Command, and the Program Executive Officer for Strategic Submarines, we welcome you to the 2022 Pennsylvania Pipeline Program Signing Day. We have believed in an idea and a mission that if we put a team together that consisted of employers to my left, CTE programs to my right, facilitators in my front, that we could put together a team that was able to focus on helping employers improve their talent acquisition and retention systems. And if they were able to do that, they would be able to increase their capacity to provide for the Navy's ship construction and ship sustainment industry. Last spring, we met on April 1st, and a small group of employers that are present here today in some CTE programs said that, yes, we think this can work. On May 27th, we had a kickoff meeting across the street here in 77 Low at Naval Special Warfare Center. And we brought a bigger group of people in those three categories, and we said, can we come together around a mission to enable employers to create a talent pipeline? Then in September, we met again, and we began to network with each other and partner to build those pipelines. In January, we transitioned from the recruiting phase into the actual hiring phase. And today is a special day because it transitions from the hiring phase to the next phase, which is the actual onboarding of those new hires into their companies. And then we're going to track them for their first year of performance on the job. Because we believe that if the employers have a reliable year-over-year talent pipeline, they'll improve their performance and increase their capacity to meet the Navy's demand. We started with 35 employers. We're really happy to announce that today, 29 of those employers hired or offered employment and had employment accepted by 220 new hires. What an amazing accomplishment.
So what about today? So you heard Joe talking about what my job is today. It's building the next class of strategic nuclear submarines for our Navy, right? And so I do that at a couple different places, Electric Boat up in New England and Newport News down at Hampton Roads. But I can't build those ships they cannot build those ships without a significant investment and feeding of material from throughout the country. Well, it just so happens that, the greater Philadelphia area, as Joe mentioned, extending from Philadelphia up through York to the Lehigh Valley, this happens to be the highest concentration of critical suppliers I have that feed that shipbuilding program. And that shipbuilding program is getting bigger and bigger. We've started construction on the Columbia-class submarines. We're also ramping up construction of Virginia-class submarines from 1 per year to 2 per year. We're still building 2 Ford-class aircraft carriers at those 2 yards. So the work is growing and is going to be lasting out into 2040s, right? But the bottom line is I look at the material I need to build those. I can't do it without the Philadelphia region. Everything from plate steel to massive castings and forgings, to valves, to pumps, to missile tubes, to major propulsion plant components, all happen within a stone's throw of here. And I can't do that without ramping up the workforce to go do that. So it is critically important that as we grow our manufacturing and shipbuilding capability in this region, we grow the workforce to go do that. So I'm also professionally excited by bringing together this group of folks that we have here today. We have elected officials at the federal, state, local level. We have Department of Defense. We have Department of Navy. We have school administration. We have teachers. And we have parents to hear the story that I'm telling and what you're going to hear the rest of the speakers tell you about. Because most of all, I am most satisfied and gratified by the young men and women that are going to cross this stage later this afternoon or later this evening. Right? They are the future of that workforce. Right? And they are critical to the national defense of this nation. the work that they will perform in this region is no less important, and arguably more important, as a shipbuilding and manufacturing industrial base for the United States, as important as anything that a soldier, sailor, airman, or Marine does at the pointy end of our nation's spear. So again, thank you for all your commitment to that and your future career in this program as we move forward and your future defense of the nation.
All will play an essential role in building our Navy that allows the United States Navy to maintain our maritime dominance. And so the skills you are developing as part of the program are fulfilling a vital need to grow an empowered maritime workforce to meet our Navy's demand signal. The Navy is actively engaged in this process, as you've heard, with your local and congressional leadership to support this project, which we see as a model to be expanded to other regions of our nation.
Today is extra special for me. In the late 1940s to the early 80s, my grandfather was a pipe fitter at the Philadelphia Navy Yard. My grandfather taught my father machining and welding, and as many of you know, my father taught me machining, not so much welding. I passed the machining trade down to my nephew, who's in his first year as a CNC machinist right now. So when you look at the overall picture, the Navy Yard gave my grandfather an opportunity in the 40s that has carried my family for close to a century now. So I'm standing here extremely proud. Thank you, thank you. As a machinist, I made parts and sent them to Newport News, Virginia from 05 to 08. So I kind of understood the assignment. We got the students ready. Matt came through, all the heavy hitters came with him, right? The students led the tour. It was an incredible day. Yeah. One thing though, no cell phones came out, no side conversations. When Matt spoke, everybody listened. My students bought in. I seen it. It was relationship building at its finest. I thank you, sir. Mr. Nate Bird, I want to thank you, sir. Mr. Nate Bird at the Naval Foundry and Propeller Center, they came in, they took the tour of Benjamin Franklin High School while the students were running the machines. So they're on the mills, they're on the lathes, he's speaking to them, he sees the drawings. Once again, relationship building at its finest. And once again, when Nate spoke, I seen no cell phones, no side conversations, my students were buying in. The last company that came in was Kingsbury. Kingsbury gave a card to a 10th grade CAD student. And I want you to know, this 10th grader has told everybody he has a $40,000 a year job right now in his pocket. He has your address and he's coming. I can't help it. I can't help it. What can you do, right? But that's what the Pipeline Project did for Benjamin Franklin High School. The relationship building was at its best. It uplifted our community, and it gave hope and direction to kids who just like shop class. So I'm extremely proud to be part of it.
This year was my first year of actually welding, and I have learned and grown more than I could have ever imagined 3 years ago when I first started this journey. Before we were virtual, and since we were virtual for an entire year, there was no hands-on work to be done. When we returned to the classroom and began welding, I knew this was something I wanted to do long-term. Welding came naturally to me and for me. I love the detail of it and even the challenge that comes with it, particularly a good certified weld. Welding has helped me grow more than I could have ever imagined because every weld presents a challenge and every challenge presents an opportunity to grow. It requires steadfast focus, knowledge of safety, and understanding of the process. Despite the challenges presented from welding, such as TIG, I never gave up. I tried and tried until I got it. If nothing else, welding has taught me benefits of persistence. Today, I am one woman entering a field traditionally dominated by men. In doing this, I hope that other young ladies see me and see themselves as having a seat at the welding table. As of 2022, 6.1% of welders are women. Of this percentage, 25% are women of color. Women earn 88% of what men earn. I hope that changes soon. My hope is that by entering this profession, I am another woman who is willing to become a female welder to torch the glass ceiling in a male-dominant field.
And tonight was the first time in my life where I've seen how we honor people who go and say, I'm going to play for the Philadelphia Eagles and put a hat on. That's what you did tonight. And we honored people who are going to build America's next great warships. And as much as we need football players, we need you 100 times more. So, and I would just encourage you, get connected to the why of what you do. You help Admiral Papano and everyone who supports him go out and do their mission and come back to their families. And that's our motto at Fairlead. We help get the war fighter home. They go out, they do what they have to do, they take risks for our nations so we can be here and do this, and we all get to be part of that. So get tied into that why. That's what I encourage you. Last thing I'd say, we had a problem at our company, and like many problems in a company, you start looking at it and you say, oh, guess what? I'm the problem. We could only retain 69% of the employees we were hiring in the first 3 months. Fortunately, once people stayed with us for a year, 98% of those employees stayed on, but get to that first year, it was hard. So we worked with Joe and his team. We said, we have a problem. There's a better way to do this. And I can now say we went from 69% to 91% retention through this new process. Just doing basic, simple, little better things that fundamentally acknowledge this is a talent and this is the importance to go do what we have to do. So thank you for that.
This is how we do it. It's one relationship at a time. It's one understanding of what our need is at a time. It's one understanding of what our challenge is at a time, and then figuring out how we work our way through it. There's no magic button. It's working our way through it. We are not the manufacturing nation. We are not the technology nation right now that we must be to answer the call of what's going on in the world. Sorry, Master Chief was encouraging me to be a lot more positive, and I'll get there in a minute. But we are not that nation. The last time we recapitalized, 35% of our workforce was manufacturing. Today, it's 11.5 if you squint and parallax. But we have to do it, and this is the way. I'll pause on that for a second and say quite a few thank yous. I don't argue with Whitney, is what it came down to. So it's Philly, right? Somewhat a joke, because it's been incredibly impressive right from the beginning. From the first time we had a formal event here, I was blown away by how eager industry team you were to get the right people in the right jobs with the right skill sets. And I was blown away at what I saw from the students, what I saw at the CTEs. And we still have a lot more work to do. CTEs, if I haven't visited you yet, I will. I want to. This is the beginning, not the end. It's the beginning, not the end. Thank you to all the facilitators. Electric Boat folks, thanks for being here tonight. Suppliers, incredibly impressive, incredible work. Now we begin. We have to do better. We have to question all our assumptions. We have to retain our workforce. We have to increase their proficiency. We have to hit that 1+2 cadence. When your new workers and your current workers walk in the door, they have to understand how unbelievably important the work that they're doing is to our Navy and nation. They have to understand that you are invested in them. They have to understand there is a career path for them. They have to understand that we all care about the products, and about them, and about the critical work they're doing, about their careers, about a family-sustaining job. And I know you can do it. Not batting 1,000 across the whole industry on that. Everybody out there, pass it on too. Focus on retention. Focus on that day one experience. Focus on supervisor skill sets. Congratulations. The folks who walked across the stage tonight, and to the other folks who couldn't be here, congratulations on embarking on this career. Congratulations on embarking on service to Navy and Nation, on an outstanding, relevant, good paying, rewarding, challenging career. Learn your trade, learn your craft. Learn the trade and craft next to you in the value stream. Learn what your supervisor does and what your supervisor's thinking about. Learn about what part that is, that component, what component that is, what commodity you're working. What does this do? Don't make a widget for Admiral Papano. Make a submarine. Embrace it. Be connected to those sailors that are out there on patrol right now. And we are going to commission one Columbia every year, starting in 2032. And we're going to hit that every single year. We're already going to have 2 in commission before then. But then we're going to commission 1 every year for 10 straight years. And we're going to build the other submarines that the nation needs. And it's this start, it's this pilot program, it's this program that we're going to go sustain. It's these partnerships that we've built, that we will continue to build. It's this model that will lead the way.
Today, we were halfway through the journey. As we move forward into the second year of the program, it all becomes not how many you hire, it's how many you keep. And that is specifically and solely the responsibility of the 27 employers sitting on the stage tonight. And they understand that the next year, in January of 2024, we're going to meet again. And we're going to see how many of these 225 people are in their companies for 1 year. That's truly our graduating class. What a tremendous vote of confidence that we've been able to do this in the Philadelphia region and are now developing models that will begin in Pittsburgh and in the Hampton Roads region in 2022-23.